It's Wake Up Wednesday, and I've got to ask you, are you really awake to everything that's going on in the world? But better yet, are you awake in Christ? Because we are living in some crazy, unprecedented times. And I've been sharing this stuff, but a lot of people that are in congregations, you could be one of them, are just the wet willy, watered down gospel preachers and listeners. And where that comes from is in 2 Timothy, it talks about the itching, tickling ears. And it says, "For the time will come when people will not tolerate sound doctrine and accurate instruction that challenges them with God's truth, but wanting to have their ears tickled with something pleasing, they will accumulate for themselves many teachers chosen to satisfy their own desires and to support the errors they hold, and they will turn their ears away from truth." So, I asked if you're awake. And the big question really comes down to, do you know Jesus? Do you have his spirit? Because that's what matters more than anything today. As the time marches on here, we're living what I believe is the last of the last days. You look at everything going on around the world with wars and rumors of wars. But the real question that we should all just be asking, we should be asking one another, do you know Jesus? Do you have his spirit? Because he will show you what's next. He will give you wisdom. Not everything are you going to know. He's not going to give you knowledge of every single thing, but he will prepare you. And so that's why I ask, do you really, really know Jesus? Do you have his spirit living on the inside of you? And that's where, if you don't know Jesus, if you don't have his spirit, I would say it's time to surrender and let him come and live inside your heart, because it's a great life. And the congregations that I've been to across America, I'm not trying to knock congregations, but the Church of Christ has power. And it is time to rise up here in America. We, the people of Christ, not just we, the people of America, but it's time to stand. I mean, you can look and you've got to ask yourself, what's coming next? We're living in chaotic times to where there's just one chaotic event after another. And it's evil that we're seeing. And the only way we can truly counter evil is we've got to stand up in Christ. And so when I'm talking about this, what's coming next is the enemy has a plan, but God's got a greater plan. And God has a plan for America. I believe that we are not done here in America. I've had some dreams. I've had some visions. I've actually read the word, and I read it, and I'm reading Daniel 7:4. I read Revelations 12. And I've been sharing this like crazy, but this is where I've got to ask about, are you awake? Are you sharing? Do you love God? Do you love your neighbor? Because people need to know Jesus. They could die tomorrow. And if they're a family member of yours and they don't know Jesus, if they're a friend of yours, period, whatever, do you want them going to hell? Because an eternity in hell is a horrible thing. It's been hot here in Texas, and I couldn't even imagine it being 1,000 times worse than the heat we have here. But seriously, it's time to wake up. It's time to see the ecclesia move. They are coming against us because the enemy hates us. The devil is our enemy, but the devil works through people. So it's time for us to unite together, some unity in our communities, unity in our nation, the United States of America. We united back in the day because our founding fathers loved the idea of liberty and freedom. And so what they really want, what they want next, is they want us to have a civil war. They want us to fight. They want us to give them a reason to be able to use force against us. They want to be able to do bad things to us. Evil always does. I could go on and on, guys, and most of you know that. But I just wanted to keep this short today and ask, are you awake? Because we're living in some times where you need to be awake. And if you're awake in Christ, you'll be able to see what's coming. Love you guys. Go love God and love people.